Hey, hey, hey. What's up, Stanley?
Good morning,
Nice to
Nick.
see you.
To see you.
Yeah? You sure?
I think 80% sure.
I mean, it's really, looking good. Where are you these days?
A royal place in Phoenix.
Ah, the Royal Place. Nice.
Hmm.
You're doing
Yeah,
a nice job.
palm place.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I like that place.
Going back to today though.
Okay,
The boss finished all his duties here today.
good. Good, good, good. I'm glad I was taking care. Well,
Yeah.
welcome everybody to Xuanzang's Tower. And we have a special team class today with Mr. Stanley Chen. Uh, and it's special because, well, because it's Stanley, but also because he's going to lead the class in Chinese. So, which is very, very cool. So those of you for whom Chinese is not your first language, if you don't understand it when you listen to it, you might want to select your channel in the interpretation. Those of us native English speakers have been spoiled, where mostly we don't have to click on that little interpretation globe and select something, but
Hmm.
today can choose English. And we're looking forward to your team class today. And then I think Stanley's going to give us a little or big description of a project that he's been working on that, as I understand it, has a lot to do with mixed nuts. And I think that there's a lot of potential future partnership. So we can hear about it today after the lecture, after the translation class. Ready when you are then, Stanley.
Yeah, I am. I am. Thank you, Nick. Okay, I'm gonna switch channels. Uh, you might want to go to the English channel also.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
there.
All right. Oh, okay, great. OK，好，再次欢迎大家，来
Welcome
到今
back
天的玄奘塔
to
的
this
团队
Xuanzang
课。
Tower team
团
class.
队课的意思就是除了小
Team
石以
class
外的
means that
其他几位
the few
翻译
of
成
us
员
are
来
together,
跟大家一起学
except
习这个
Geshe
课程。
Michael. We are here together to learn the
嗯，
classics together.
哦，Yeah，OK。如果你们要听中文的话，就可以
If
留
you
在
want to listen to
座位上面听
Chinese,
到现
you
在。
can stay here.
如果要听英文或者其
If
他
you
的
want to
语
listen to
言，
English or other
各
languages,
国的朋友
please
可以
choose your
移居
language
到不同的对应的语言的频道上。我
in
个
the
人是很享受
interpretation
教
channels.
外国
For
朋
me
友中文的。
personally, I enjoy
像
teaching
Nick
in
他更多
Chinese.
喜欢跟大家讲一点
I
点
want to
中文，
teach
他的中文很不错。
foreign friends in
那今
Chinese,
天
but
也
actually
开始有很
for
多
example,
外
Nick,
国的朋友，非
his
中国的
Chinese
朋
is
友，
quite
各
good.
各
And
各地
today
的
we are
朋友。
very happy that we have a lot of
来
friends
学一
from
学
all
就
over the
是中
world
文经典的
outside China
魅力。OK，
to feel
嗯，
the beauty of
然后
Chinese
我
classics.
知道有好多不同语言的翻译，我现在看到
And
有
we
德
know,
文的，
I know
还
that
有
there are a
英
lot
文
of
的翻
languages
译，
here, the different translators. There are
日语、乌
German,
克兰语、越南
English,
语，
Russian,
是好几位的翻
Ukraine,
译者，所以
Vietnamese
如果我讲的
translators
太快
here.
的话，
So if I
可
speak too
以随
fast,
时提醒我。OK，
please remind
我
me.
们中文有一个特点，
There's a
叫言简
special
意赅，
characteristic
可
in
能讲10个
Chinese,
字，讲一个成语，
meaning like
在英
we
文要
use a
干
few
30
characters,
秒，
but a
是有
few
可能。
characters
我
has
们
to be
可能
translated
5秒钟可以
into
讲完
English
整个
for
故事，英
say
文要
30
花更长的
seconds.
时间。
So there's a
所以
possibility that
可以随时
when
提
I
醒我。
speak,
OK，
the
然后今
translator
天的
needs
内容
longer
呢
time
比
to
较特
translate.
别的
So
是，
please
我
remind
们
me if I
今
speak
天
too
会
fast. And our
回到
content today is
阿比
very
达摩
special. We will go back
的
to
课的内容。
the
上一次
teaching of Abhidharma.
Why Nick looks so confused? Maybe it's not me, right? OK OK OK，上一次阿比达摩的
Last time,
内容当中，我们开始讲到
we
五
started
蕴，
to
再
talk
讲
about
到
the five
大界
heaps
12处，
18 categories, categories and 12 doors of
另外一个非常
sense
有意思的
in Abhidharma.
讲
And
座
today
的主题，相
we
关的主
will
题叫做
go into a very
六因
special
四缘
topic of
这个主
Abhidharma.
题，六种
Is the 6 types
事
of
物的
cause
发
and
生的
4
因，
types of conditions,
以及四
meaning
种促进法
6
术
types
中的
of
缘，
causes for things to
六
happen
因四
and
缘。
4
这个是
contributing
阿比达摩比较
conditions or
高光
factors.
的时刻，
This is
就是因为这个
some
六因四
very
缘相关的内容，
this is the
这个
highlight
老
of
师
Abhidharma
陈
because
老师写到
the 6
DCI
causes
世
and the
界里
4
面，
conditions
所
are
以
written into
让这个
the
本来看
DCI
起来
level
比较
7 by
无聊
Geshe
的
Michael.
乏味的阿比达
So
摩，突然
we are
间受到
trying
了额外的重视，所以我是
to
很开心的。
place
我为
focus
这个阿
into
比
a
达摩
sort
能
of
够
boring
进
Abhidharma
入到细
content.
节感到非
So
常开
this
心。
also makes me
然
happy.
后因为前段
And
时
when
间刚
listening to level 7, I feel
是
happy about it.
在
And
线下在中国
some
杭
time
州，
ago,
以及在线
Geshe
下
Michael
线上
was
有
in
各自的
Hangzhou having online and
一起都教了这个
on-site
七阶的内容。
level
这段
7
时间我
with
猜有各地
you
不同的 DCI 主办
where
企
he
业在
teaches
积
this
极地
content.
推广
And I
这个
guess
后续的
all
精
the
讲，应该就
organizers
是
all
在
over
这
the
个
world
后
may
续的培训
be
的时间段内，
are
所以我也
doing
想就借这个
review
时
of
间
the
来
level 7 now. So
讲一
I'd
讲
also
这
like
个
to
阿比达摩当
take
中
this opportunity
原
to
文
talk
的
about
六
the
因四缘的
original
内容，
content of the
或
6
许能够帮
causes
助到
and
一
4
些增加一下学
conditions
细节
from
的
the
人加
Abhidharma
深
text, which
生活
may
中
help
澄清一
you
些问
to
题。
deepen your understanding
如果
or
学习
clarify
本身
some of
这
your
个六因四缘
questions.
就是阿比达摩非常重要的内容，正
Especially
好
this
是葛夏老师在讲
6 causes and 4 conditions
这
are
个阿比
is
达摩
very
杂集论
important in
阿比达摩
Abhidharma.
Samuchaya 这个杂集论当中
And Geshe
正好
Michael
提及到的
mentioned
内容，讲到
that
了一些增上缘，
when
六因四缘当中的增上
in
缘
the
的提及，
Abhidharma
所以正好
Samuchaya, we are
我们
also
这样合适
talking
可以一起来
about
今
something
天
related
借
to
这个
this
契机
part.
来讲一讲。
So
然
it's
后
a
我今天
suitable
有一
time for
个
us to discuss this today.
想要跟大家一起做一个尝试。以
And I
往
would
我
like to
们
try something with you
在
today. In the
这个
past,
六因的时候，
when we
更
talk
多
about
的
the
是着
6
重
types of
在
causes, we placed more
七阶 DCI
focus
的七阶如何触碰金刚世界。
on how to
因
touch
为
the
触碰金
diamond
刚世界
world
是一个我们
in
从来
level
没有
7, because touching the
从来
diamond world
对
is
大
something
多数人来讲，从来
for
没有
most of us
发生过的事情。
that hasn't
如
happened
何能够引
before.
发我
So
们生命
how
当中最
to
重要的体验，
trigger
又是
this
从来
most
没有发
important
生过的事
experience
情？
in life, this kind of
我们可以
experience that
从
we have
六因
never
的角度
experienced?
去
Actually, we can
探索。
try to explore this from the perspective of
看
the
那个
6
翻译
types of
是有
causes.
有翻译到的，谢谢。看到有乌帕拉老师有反应了。OK，
I see that Uppala has some reaction, so
那
meaning
今天呢，
our
想要
translator is
从一个
doing
角度
okay. So today we'd like to
来
use
做一
another
个
perspective
parallel reasoning 的
to
练习。
do a parallel
我们还是拿
reasoning.
parallel reasoning 就是一个平行逻辑，
Parallel
一条
reasoning
线
is
平行的是两
a
条线，
parallel logic.
平行线。
Parallel meaning
那一
two
条
straight
线
lines
是
going
这个是
on
我
the
比较
in the
希
same
望 AI
direction.
可以给我画出来的
And
手指
this time
6
I
个
would like AI to
呃
make
平
6
行
fingers for
线的
me.
意思就是一
And
边两边
parallel
讲六
means
因，
that
然后
both
呢这边
sides
我们常规
are
是讲
about 6
六
causes.
因对应
On one side,
触碰金刚世界的。
we talk
那今
about the
天呢，我
6
们
causes
会
to
借
touch
助
the
这
diamond
个
world. But today
这一条平行线
we will
来
use this
讲另外一条
parallel
平行线
line
的内容。另外一条平行线就是
to talk
六
about
因
the
的
other
部分
side. The other
对
side
应创
meaning
新，
how does
对
the 6
六因的
causes
对应
correspond to
引
innovation?
发这种美
How
妙的创新
do
的
the 6 types of
体验。因为我
causes
自己
trigger
在
the
过去一年
beautiful innovation
都在做一个
experience?
叫
Because
新
in the
的
past
项
year,
目叫 IR
I have
创
been doing
新
a
闭
new
关 OK
project, the innovations
创新闭关
retreat
当中，我
IR,
们在
in
这创
which
新闭关一来跟敦煌西行
and
是
actually
非常相关
IR
的。
is very related to
它两个
Dunhuang
也是一个平行
West.
项目，一个是商业的，一个是公益
These
的
two
项目。
projects are parallel projects as
然后
well.
在
One is a
创新闭关当
commercial
中，我们
or business project. One is
尝试把这种
a
源自于敦煌的古
profit
老的闭关的
non-profit
艺术
project. In
带
this
到现
project,
代
we are
的
trying
商业
to
人群，
bring to the
结果就是我
modern
们
business
希望
people
能够帮助大
the
家对自己的工作
ancient arts from Dunhuang, hoping to help everyone's work and also their inner spiritual world, bringing them innovation, which is the most beautiful experience for them to break through their limitations of life and health and in relationship. And we need innovation in all aspects of life. So today we will do this parallel exercise to do this reasoning, one being the touching diamond world, one being the innovation retreat. And for this, we will go back to our first book of Abhidharma. Geshe Michael has been talking about the second book as the Mahayana Abhidharma, but today we are going back to the smaller Abhidharma, the Hinayana version, which is the kosha, in which there's a very clear explanation of the 6 types of causes and 4 conditions. And here we have another parallel, because we are talking about a big Abhidharma and a small one, the Mahayana and Hinayana. And in this class, in the end, we will share about our progress in the Dunhuang West project, and we also want to recruit some volunteers to join our project. And in this class, we welcome you to interact with me. You can always type in the chat room. May I invite Nick to read the Chinese first?
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Tell me the first character. How?
好不好？
好不好？
不好，OK， good，
不差卡，故意，
非常好，
可
非常好，
以。
可以，OK，finish， good，OK，just kidding， 那我们请一些
So may I invite some Chinese-speaking people to read the verse
中文好了，有没有人可以
in Chinese?
来开个头的 ？OK，Carol，
阿弥陀佛，谢谢陈堂老师。阿弥陀佛六因说，颂曰：能作即具有，同类以相应，偏行必异熟，水因为6种。还要再读下去吗？
可以，念完这个。
给问因有几种？答：许为6种，为一能作因2。老师，我看不到那个字，被挡住。
这样吗？具有因
可以上一点吗？再上一点。
再上一点。
再上一点。OK， 好。一能作因，2具有因，3同类因，4相异因，5偏行因，6异熟因。继续吗？
cool， 可以了。好，谢谢 Carol。
Thank you，
Thank you。
所以你看这里这个
From here, you can see that it says the first say. The first meaning the source text in the Abhidharma kosha.
来进行的，然后在这个许因为6种最后一句讲到，就是讲到因的话
It mentions that there are affirmed as the 6 causes. And in the end, it says that all the changing things has a cause. So in Abhidharma, it emphasizes on how things happen. And we are trying to look into how things happen from the perspective of the cause. And talking about cause, how many types are there? It says only 6 causes here. This only is an important word. Which 6 types? We will take a quick look. The first one is the enable of dual cause, the coexistent cause, the homogeneous cause, the concomitant cause, the pervasive cause, and the maturing cause. There are 6 types. What do they mean for each of them? Each type of them, how does it work to touch the diamond world? And today, when we are talking about the parallel with the innovation, what's that? So this is what we are going to discuss today. First, you don't need to worry about the names. These names are from 1,300 years ago, a translation from Xuanzang. So it's a very ancient way of name. But now in DCI, we use modern language. So you don't need to worry about this ancient language. And may I ask someone to read about the dual cause?
一人作因，可以开始了吗？
可以，请读。
一人作因，问云何人作因？体性。答：自体生时，除自体外，不作障碍于等。
读法。
具有因。问
可以了，好。
可以了是吧？
好的，对，一个个来。
好的，谢谢。
第一个能作因，你看讲到
the first type of cause is the dual cause. It asks, what is the nature of the dual cause? Nature means what is the definition, what is its function, what is its nature? And it asks what is the nature of the dual cause. This definition is amazing. It is by Choni Lama Dragpa Shedru from Gansu, China, a very famous person in the Ming Dynasty about 400 years ago, a wise person who started his own institute. So the definition is given by Choni Lama. This kind of writing is very suitable for us to read nowadays. This is mentioned by Geshe many times. So in Xuanzang Tower, we translate a lot of his works. And here, his definition on dual cause is when an entity arises. When we talk about cause, there must be a result. So this entity means the result. When this entity arises, all other factors. So this means anything apart from this result. This we seldom mention in DCI. So all other factors that do not obstruct it are established as a dual cause. Any itself, all other things that do not obstruct it to happen, this include people, things, etc., are established as a dual cause.
So the
standard of this dual cause, and I mentioned about the style, it is very passive. You don't need to do something. You just need to not obstruct it. For example, in level 7,
很多的什么事物、什么事情会阻碍你触碰金刚世界
What will obstruct you touching diamond world? If there is something that obstructs you, then it's not a dual cause. So let us look at the negative side, meaning what will obstruct this. And in level 7, it is mentioned that we need to do 4 powers to clear the old bad seeds, because these old bad seeds will obstruct us to enter the diamond world. So this dual cause, the style is sort of passive. You don't need to do something specifically. You just need to not obstruct it. For example, today, if we have to go back to Sedona from Venus, if we want to go back to Rimrock, normally we will say, what causes will make sure we can get back to Sedona? There's you need car, you need transportation. You need to calculate your time, make the time arrangements. What time do we need to depart? And you need a driver to drive that. So these are active actions. But for this dual cost, we don't need to think about all of these active things. Although its name is dual, but Geshe Michael translates it as passive, which is more accurate. We don't need to think about all these active things. We just need to think about what will obstruct it. For example, if you ask me to think about how to go back to Sedona smoothly, one thing I have to avoid is traffic jam. If we get into a traffic jam, then that's an obstruction. Or we have to avoid driving crazily on the highway, which may cause traffic accidents. So this is a prevention thinking. When we talk about the different types of costs in Abhidharma, the first type is tells you you don't need to think about the active things. You need to think about what to avoid. And this type of thinking is very effective. In the United States, there is a thing called defensive driving. What do you need to prevent? Because if the obstruction appears or arises, then this dual cost is abolished. It doesn't work. Because if there is an obstruction or if there is an obstacle, then you need to avoid it. The thinking behind four powers is you have to think what to clear. But in this dual cost, this can be something preventive. You can prevent in advance, which is very cool. Let me ask you, from talking about innovation, especially for those who have taken IR courses, we have mentioned a few things that can be obstacle for your creativity in the classics. We have to look for those obstacles and clear them. And what do you think are those? Yes, one of them is jealousy. Jealousy is a very deep seed obstructing creativity. And one thing we always mention, which is about translation and mixedness. Recently, we have been talking about creativity through lucid dream. Someone mentioned about mobile phone addiction. I sum it up as a kind of over business, meaning you don't stop without stopping. If you keep working without taking time to stop and think, this will become an obstacle for innovation. Another thing is a too noisy lifestyle, and mobile phone is one of those, which can become an obstacle for your innovation. Recently, Geshe Michael has been talking about 8 hours of sleep. Insufficient sleep is a very big obstacle to innovation. And now, I'm very cruel to ask a lot of you to come to my class at 11 in the evening. So actually, this is a type of obstacle. Then you may find that you don't have much inspirations tomorrow because you have not slept enough. So what I want you to remember is to have enough sleep. If you keep using your phone or too much work at night and you don't go to bed in time, not only are you wasting your time of sleep, but also from the opportunity cost of economics, you are losing some innovation opportunity because working too late will let you lose the innovation in the coming weeks. So this is a very high opportunity cost.
所以现在我想请大家，今天我想带给大家第一个思
And
想。
so today, what I want to inspire you to think today is when you stay up late, not only you lose a night of good sleep, but also for the other day of or the coming week, you will lose a lot of good ideas and creativity, and those inspirations that can help you get a breakthrough in life will not come to you. So you have to pay attention to this. I love myself. I love staying up late, but I also cherish these good ideas. So in order to help myself be able to innovate in the future, which will make our life fun, so we need to join the Good Night Book Club and go to bed at 10. You can also think about the other negative sides of the dual cost. For example, the habits of using the phone, like this kind of noisy lifestyle, can become a big obstacle to you. And someone mentioned about jealousy. And there is another point that is the body and mind being not healthy, not taking good care of our own body and mind. Like Steve Jobs, when he was sick in the late times, it was difficult for him to innovate. So for a lot of artists, if they get into mental illness, it's very hard for them to innovate and create. So now let us look at the second one.
虽然看不到你在哪，但欢迎读一下。
好的。具有因问：云何具有因性相？答：若法互为因果，相互饶益，是具有因性相或体性。
OK， 好，谢谢。看到了玉米，看到了。好，第二个叫具有因，具有因。
The second cause is called the coexistence cause. What's the name in GCI? The name is sort of like mutual cause or simultaneously arising cause. Here we say it as coexistent cause. And let us first look at the definition. What is the characteristic of the coexistent? When phenomena mutually serve as cause and effect. So in your mind, what you see is two things. For the dual cause, what you have to think first is the obstacle. And for this type of cause, the coexistent cause, I want you to think about two things together.
Водоросли. Короче, вообще.
OK， 我很想用俄文回几句，但回不出来。所以在这个，哎呦，抱歉，按没了。稍等一下。对，当我们讲到这个具有因的时候，我想请大家第一个要去想的就是它有两个。spasiba OK 要讲到两个同时存在的事物，它才能够互为具有。具有在阿比达摩当中，它有一个特点，就是这两个因是互为因果的，然后而且是要同时存在的。两个东西要同时存在，才能够成为具有因。然后它 不仅要同时存在，还要相互饶益，就是要相互支持、相互支撑。在经典当中，No English
啊，
哦，英文翻译是在吗？中翻英的。那 OK，OK，现在可以了吗？OK，OK，要相互支持，要两个事
So
物要
these
相互支
two
持。
have to support
然后很
together.
典型的一
Not
个
only have
例子
they
最有意思
exist,
的
have
就
they have
是
to exist together, they have to benefit each other and
阿毗达摩
meaning
的
they
四
support
法
each other. And in Abhidharma, we always mention about
七
the
阶的例
four,
子当中的意识
like
与意识
the
根本不
big
在
four.
这里，放在后面的相应音里面，不在这里。但是这里 well 也
Someone
算是
mentioned about
也
the
可以
mind and the
这个例
mental
子是通常
function,
的
which is
应该
in
说
a
有
later course.
然后但更典型的一个就是
But
四
a
大
more
就是
typical
地水火风
example is the four elements.
譬如说在
For
火元
example,
素很猛
for
的
the
这个
fire
很强烈的
element,
火里面
for a very strong fire element,
火焰里面其实同时也有它的
in the
风性的
flame,
水性还有地性
in a fire, there's also
这
the
是
earth
比较
elements
像
and
火
water
只有
elements,
风性是比较强的，因为它
but
风
only
可以
that
动
the fire element is
风
the
的意思就是会
stronger one.
动事物
And
会
the
容易动
the wind
风很
element
快炎
meaning that
它
means there's
风性就会
mobility.
比较弱一
For
点
example,
火的
like a
风性是比较强
stone,
的，因为它可以动
it
所以有
may
些
has a
生
very
火的东
strong
西
earth
如果火
element.
没有风性的话，就
If
不会串联，不
there's
会融
no
化，它
wind
就是
element
烧
for fire,
就得了，
then when
对吧？
when a
但是因为它
tree
的风
is
性很强，
burnt
所以它会
burnt
跳
up, then
从一棵
it
树跳到
will
下一棵树。
stop.
从这个角度，
But
火
because
性跟
it
动动
moves,
就
there's
是互为
mobility.
因果的，
That's why the fire can go
那
from
这个因
one
果
tree
呢
to
是
the
有
other
相互
tree.
支持存在的意思。
So from this perspective, the
有
fire
这个
elements
角
and the
度也没有问题。
mobility are cause and effect, and they support
然
each
后
other.
在七
When
阶
you
当
have
中
one,
呢，
then you
有
have
这
the
个
other.
就触碰跟
And I
非
wonder
常
whether
困
you
难的两
remember
个
that in level 7,
经
there
典
are
事情
two
就是
very
火
important
为这共生
things,
因或者具有因的
which
这
is the coexistent cause
两
with
个互为因果
touching
相互
the
支持。
diamond world.
Yeah， 哦，
Two
这非常有意思
coexistent
的说
causes
法也是。
support each other.
对，你要找到你的老师，
Yes, the first one
找
is
老
finding
师
your teacher,
具格的老师，那个爬上过喜马
a
拉雅山的老
qualified
师，
teacher
跟
who
复合中央
has
世界体验是互为因果
climbed
的。
to the
也
top
就是
of
说，
the Himalayas.
我们互为因果的
Having
意思
this
就是
teacher
说 A 帮
is
助
a
B，B 也反过来帮助
coexistent
B，
cause with touching the
相互
diamond
帮助
world.
的。我们七阶更
And
多
here
讲
we
的是老
mentioned
师
about
会帮助我
benefiting
们
each other.
触
So
碰其他
in
世界，
level
但
7, we
反过来
say that a teacher will help
也是
us
成
touch
立
the
的，
diamond world.
不断的
But
学习空性会
where
帮
the
助
other
自己
way
变得
around
更好。
also established,
哈哈， 这
learning
个
emptiness will
我
help
们之
us
前没有去这么想，
get a
但
better
是
teacher.
对
We
于
may
像
not
这个
have thought
追
about
求
this in the
细
past,
小性
but for
这种
pursuing
向往，
touching the diamond world, this
会反过来互
longing,
为因果嘛，
this
会让我们遇
because
到
we are talking
更好的
about
老师，或
a
者会让我们
mutual
老师
cause
变
and
得越
effect.
好。
So
比如
this
说
longing will
我
help
们
us get a
对
better
我
teacher
们应该
or
学
help
学
our
业
teacher
追求
become better
向
and
往，
better. For example,
你的
when
老
we
师
have
就
a
越能够给你更
bigger and
多
bigger
更
you're
深的
longing for the touching the diamond world, then our teacher will give us a
看你
better
想是
and
不是觉得是
deeper
合理的，
teaching.
因为它是互
Do you
为
find
因果，
that
不要
this
忘记了
makes
这个
sense?
因的意
Because
思是
this
相互成
is
就
a
的。
mutual cause and
所以
effect.
从某个角度来
This
讲呢，
should
老
support
师也不是说就在那儿就他
and
给你
benefits each other.
某个程度来讲，
So
你
from this perspective,
对空性的学习见
even
习
though we have a
跟
teacher,
权杖塔
he can
某
decide
种
what to
还有
teach you.
越
So your practice
对
for
自己
learning
有
emptiness
爱，
and whether you
反过来会
respect
让
the
会成就一位对你
Xuanzang Tower
有帮助的
enough,
老师。
whether you preserve the classics for
所以
yourself will
对，
help
所以
you
我们
create
要
a
表达的
very
就是
outstanding teacher. This is
没老
very
师，
cool. So
没
we
有
should
老师，
stop
从
complaining that
具有
we
因的
don't
角
have
度
a
就是自己
teacher.
没需要。
From this
一
coexistent
般我
cause,
的想法是有
not
老
having a
师
teacher means that we have not learned
因为
well.
具有因告诉我们就是自己
A
是
lot of
好
times
才
we
有
think
更
that
好的
we
老
need a
师。
teacher to learn well, but this
不好意思
coexistent
啊，
cause
这个
tells us that we have to learn well, then we have a good
那在
teacher,
创新
which is
当
very
中，
meaningful.
大家能不能想
And
到，
for innovations, can you think about
如果你譬如说我们想要做成功的创新闭关，
to do
它的
a
具有因是什么？
innovation
有
retreat
几个
successfully? What is the
因素
coexistent
是
cause?
跟
what factors are related to a successful innovation retreat or related to breaking that first breakthrough. I will especially place focus on professional IR teachers or professional caretakers. These professional IR teachers and caretakers are mutually supportive. From this perspective, if we want to have a successful IR, having this very professional teacher and caretakers and corresponding teachings is very important. For a negative example, if you want to do an innovation retreat, but your team, your caretakers are not professional, you will face a lot of disruptions. For example, they call you every day asking you what do you want for lunch, and they don't understand that they can send you a note. That's why recently we are starting a job for doing a catalog for the IR menu, which is a very important coexistent cost for having successful IR. And the other way around, if we are willing to practice this innovation retreat, this will also promote for us to have a better teacher and better students and a better organization of the volunteers. So I really love this idea of the coexistence cost, which is very beautiful. Or symbiotic cost, it is a very beautiful relationship. Not saying one is above the other. They are supporting each other, which is also the same for teacher and student relationship. They help each other achieve success. So you can give it a thought. If you are an IR teacher or an IR student, do you have enough coexistent costs? This is something we can give it a thought. And the next one is a homogeneous cost. May I ask someone to read it?
三、同类因。问：云何同类因体性？答：谓与自国同类种类相似，由此能生，立为同类因。如前继善、不善、无继，能生后继与自种类相似之善、不善、无继。如文所成为文、思、修三所成之同类因，思所成为思、修二所成之同类因，修所成为修所成之同类因。不好意思，
有点拗口啊，谢谢，很好听的声音啊，谢谢。
I love your voice.
呀，现在读经典好像要直接抢麦，谁先开口？同类音的名字其实比较容易理解。
This name of the generic cause is easy to understand, meaning the cause and the effects are of the same types.
这是它的定义。
So it refers to that which produces an effect of the same type.
由此就能生，立为同类因。我想要着重的讲后面这个例子是很美
And would like to really talk about the examples given here, which are very beautiful. We mentioned about 3 types of wisdom. According to this track of getting wisdom, we have learning, reflection, and meditation. Learning is what we are doing in the Xuanzang Tower class. We are listening to a class and we gain wisdom. And after this, we discuss with our friends, we debate, and we give it a thought, we think about it. Geshe Michael loves to give an example of driving back to Sedona from Phoenix. And through this thinking, you generate wisdom. Then in classics, you will find that there is such a thing that before students ask a question, you go to a secluded place to think deeply. I think when I'm quiet, then like in the chapter 7 of What I Really Meant, a bodhisattva asked the Buddha about a question which arises in his thinking. And the third wisdom is meditation. Meditation means the practice where you go deep inside to generate insight. And this meditation practice is the deepest among the three, and it is unshakable. And in the classics, it says only having learning and reflection without meditation is not enough. But with meditation, the insight that arises will become part of your mind, which will not be blown away by strong wind. Because inside of you, you have the wisdom. But in order to get this wisdom from meditation, you have to do the learning and reflection. That's why before we go into retreats, if we want to get the wisdom from meditation in retreats, before this, we have to do a lot of learning and reflection. Because if you don't bring into your retreat with something in you, you go in empty. So these three things, these three learnings, these three trainings are related. So we need to do learning, then we can do a reflection, then we can do meditation. So we have to first listen to the Xuanzang Tower class. You have to come back regularly every week. You have to really be committed, more committed than dating with your girlfriend. Then you have topics to bring in, topics inside you for you to reflect on. And then afterwards, when you get into retreat, when you go into silence, then you can really generate insight. So these three are related. But one thing very cool is, from another angle, talking about this generic cause, about the three trainings, it says that the wisdom gained from learning, that there are three wisdoms gained from the three trainings, the three kinds of wisdom. These three wisdoms are the same type, but the higher one will trigger the later one. So the wisdom gained from learning will trigger the wisdom gained from reflection. And the wisdom gained from reflection, let me repeat. Like what we are doing now, when we learn and we get some wisdom, this wisdom can serve as the generic cause for the wisdom gained from learning, reflection, and meditation. Personal thinking and debating with friends, which is the reflection. The wisdom gained from this reflection serves as the generic cause for the wisdom of the later two trainings. And for the wisdom gained from meditation or retreat will serve as the generic cause for itself. It is also a progressive relationship, but cannot be reversed. The wisdom gained from meditation or retreats cannot serve as the generic cause for the prior ones. So you have to progress forward. You cannot reverse. Meaning, if you go into retreat, it cannot replace your past time. or only thinking, only doing your personal thinking, only taking part in book clubs, personal reading. All of this as part of the reflection. Only this alone is also not okay, because it cannot become the cause for the wisdom gained from learning. So you can only progress forward and you cannot go backward. So now I am advertising for coming to class. As long as you have the ability, as long as you have taken care of your family, try really hard to come to class. So you have to go forward. It is a single way, not like the course we mentioned about, but this one is a single way. It's a one-way relationship. Okay? And we have 15 more minutes.
下一位，抢麦开始。
江一英
OK，
问，我等了3秒，看没人，我来了。江一英问，缘何相应应？答：同一不共增上缘之心所，不为因果，决定为相应因，以彼等互为。彼无此不生之因果故。不好意思，这个是
毗婆沙宗。
毗婆沙宗许此为真实因果，余宗许为假立因果。
好，谢谢。抱歉，我刚刚忘记要先回到这个同类因当中啊。
Sorry, let's go back to the generic cause because I forgot to talk about the innovation part. What is the generic cause for innovation? If we put innovation, if we put the idea from innovation into the wisdom from meditation, what is the wisdom from learning and reflection? What is the generic cause of these two? In level 7, it emphasizes on learning the unique wisdom that can help trigger the touching of the diamond world, Chichedra, because it is of the same type with the experience of touching the diamond world. It is the most specific and accurate wisdom to learn. So learning and thinking about Chichedra can trigger touching the diamond world. But if we talk about innovation, I can think of a few. In IR, we have always been emphasizing on a mindset which is called curiosity. You can hardly imagine someone without curiosity to have a lot of innovations. Having curiosity is to have an open mind to explore and have an open mind to receive instead of just living, instead of just muddling along. And instead, you have the curiosity to see what beautiful things will come. And ultimately, I think this curiosity is about thinking about karma. This is the ultimate curiosity. But of course, there are many kinds of curiosity. Like Xiaoping, the president of DSEU, she is very curious in how to establish an institution. Like a few days ago, when we were staying in a hotel in Phoenix, this hotel has 100 years of history, and she would look for the story of the founder and the history of the hotel, and she is very curious. For this, she will come up with a lot of new inspirations on how to build DSEU. For example, if we go to a hospital, President Zhou will also try to look for the story and history of the hospital. And she told me that the hospital was founded by 3 father and son. This is similar to Zhongkapa. So this hospital was founded by a father and 2 sons. And after 100 years, it became the Mayo Hospital, the best hospital in the whole Arizona. It is a public hospital of non-profits. It's private. It's a non-profit private hospital, the best in Arizona. So this type of curiosity is very important. And especially in retreats, we will practice a very special type of curiosity. Last time, Geshe also mentioned it in Dunhuang, which is the curiosity to look for the special messages through the leaves moving by the wind or through animals passing by, through these to look for the special messages. It is a very special kind of curiosity in retreats. For me, I can see it also as a generic cause. You can cook it. And just now, someone read the concomitant cause. A very typical thing about the concomitant cause is the mutual effect between the mind and the mental factor. For example, the mind and the mental functions, they focus on the same object at the same time. For example, when you are at a Xuanzang Tower class, your main mind is focused on the screen and on the content, but at the same time, your mental function of thinking is also focusing on the same object. This is one of the concomitant relationship. There are 5 types. Here it says that when mind and the mental function share the same exclusive supporting condition, we have to break up the mind and the mental function here. The mind means the main mind. The mental factors are the functions. So we have to separate them. Just now, someone mentioned about the same example when we were discussing the other cause, but actually the mind and the mental function should be put here. But I would also like to clarify that the mind and the mental factors also are part of the coexisting cause. So here, and in level 7, what did we say that is a concomitant cause of touching the diamond world? For example, after you touch the diamond world, your appearance may not change because it's a pure conscious movement. But what is the concomitant cause? What is the attitude? What attitude does it have a concomitant relationship? Level 7 mentioned about 2 attitudes. One being the respect towards your teacher, the other as the compassion towards other people. And in the classics, it says respect and compassion. Respect or reverence towards the teacher, and the other one as the compassion. And by the way, the respect we mentioned here is a mental ideology. Geshe also mentions that he doesn't really expect people to bow to him when students see him, but it is some mental ideology or affection towards the teacher or the classics. It's like some mental kind of affection. Instead of like you have to show it with your body language. Because students can say a lot of respectful words, but they may not have the feeling of respect in the heart. So here the attitude is more on your respect and the love for the classics in the heart, and for compassion. Do you really care about other people? So these two attitudes are having a concomitant relationship with touching the diamond world. And for innovation, this is very interesting. For innovation, Geshe Michael especially mentioned about two attitudes. The first time when Geshe Michael taught IR in June last year, he taught gratitude. Gratitude. He taught remember and be grateful meditation. Like you remember the past generation and you feel gratitude. In this meditation, you thanks all the sponsors for in the past, all these sponsors who contributed to the murals, the caves, the protection of the caves, for the preservation of classics. For me, sponsors not only support financially, anyone who has supported and has put in a part are the donors or benefactors. So in this attitude, you thank them. And another attitude is what should I do for the future generations? So these two attitudes are related to the concomitant cause for innovation. If you go to Zunhuang, you will easily feel the gratitude for the past people, or you can easily feel that you care about the people of the future generations. For example, if you go to 1,000-year-old cave, you can feel the weight of the 1,000 years of history left behind. Even the air in Zunhuang feels different. And the next one is pervasive cause.
问云何变形音？答为前变形，为同地烦恼或即染污法之变形音。此分二种：一字部变形音，二非字部变形音。如11变形始，即见苦之身见、邪见、边见、见取见、借境取见、疑无明。即见即之见取见邪见疑无明。感恩。
谢谢谢谢。这个其实我们可以做很多文章的，因为时间有限。那我就先讲一个。
This part we don't have much time, but actually we can discuss a lot about this. This pervasive cause means it is pervasive in everywhere. It has always existed. Wherever you go, no matter what time and where it exists. I have to ask Nick, what's the name? Or may I ask?
It's pervasive. No, not pervasive. Yeah, it's omnipresent, but it's not. There's a different word. 我忘记了，我找一下，到时候可以。它意思就是
actually is not really pervasive cause, but it means it's always there. And in the classics, it talks about the 11 types of paintings, the 11 types of wrong views, which exist no matter what you do, even when you are doing.
Maybe it's pervasive.
Good things, even if you're doing good things, you are misunderstanding what you are doing. If we use DCI language, a very interesting example is when you are telling others the pen story, your pervasive cause is that your misunderstanding of the pen when you when you tell others the story, when you are telling other people that this comes from your own seeds, but at the same time, your pervasive cause is the misunderstanding. And when for example, the phone on my hand, the message that I receive on this phone is sent by the other person. This is very interesting.
如果放到 IR 呢，有
If
什么样一个
in the IR context, what kind of universal attitude can help
老师讲到的就是这种
with
稳定的情绪
innovation? Geshe Michael mentioned about a stable mood. That is a stable pleasure, stable happiness generally, which is a generic stable mood. This kind of state of mind, which is like sunshine, is an omnipresent cause for innovation. But how to achieve this kind of mental state that is like sunshine? The gratitude meditation that I mentioned about is one of the methods. And the last one.
有没有人可以来念一下？
老师，我来。
OK， 有请。
艺术音。
是我没听，我的声音断了吗？还是他的断了？
我可以吗？
我 OK。
现在又可以了，可以了，可以再念一下，刚刚听不到声音。
OK， 云何异熟音？答：未能招异熟之不善，即有漏善。此二是异熟音，以体性有力，即有爱润故，著无技法，非是异熟音，虽有爱润，然无自力故，著无漏善，非是异熟音，虽有自力，然无爱润故。
再读一下这一段。
OK， 问云何异熟意？答：相异而熟，是其词义。因事有迹，果为无迹，因果相异。
OK， cool。所以这个异熟音其实是我们所有人
For
最熟
this
悉的。
maturing cause, it is something that we are most familiar with. That is cause and effect.
什么叫异熟呢？第一
Why do we call this maturation? First, it means
譬如说一个音开，一个意识的种子种下来说
ripening by mutual dependence. First, we say that
种子是不一样的，相异。
the effect is not the same as the seed, so they are different. First, the timing is not the same, the place is not the same, meaning for cause and effect, the effect does not happen at the same time with the seed, so they are called cause and effect.
如果你给一支笔得到的也是
For example, like
一模一样
if you
那就不
pull
用
up
给
a
了。
pen,
但
if
是
you
因
give
为
a
它是
pen,
相异的，异
if
识
you give a pen and you get back the same
它就能
pen,
够
it's exactly the
招
same
来
pen, you don't need to
善
give it,
不善。
but there's a difference. And here we also mentioned
特
about
别强调的是以
good
体
and
性有
bad
力
deeds.
即有爱
Here
润故，
it
就是种子
especially
种子的
talks about
开花结果，意识种子的开花结果是需要爱
nourished
的。
by
爱润
craving.
就是讲到那个
Nourished by
12个
craving
里面的第
means
7跟第8支。
the second link and the
如果学
eighth
过
link in the
朋友可以回忆一下。
wheel of life. If
当
you
一颗
have
种子
learned
刚种
level
下
6, you
种
can
下
review
新
it.
鲜的叶粒
Once
就
you
变成
plant
成
a
熟的种子，
fresh seed,
中间
this
需要
fresh seed
经
will
过两个
become a
最关键
mature
的
seed,
第7支
and
跟第8支。
in this, it has
它们
to
不
go
同的
through
爱
the important
有爱
link
不同
7 and
的
link
溺爱
8. So there are
溺爱
two kinds of
才能
cravings
滋
here
润它，才能够
to nourish
成
it
熟。
for it to ripen,
很有意思，这个。
which is very interesting.
所以，但是这个是我们最熟悉的。
This is
我
what
们
we
今
are
天我
most
想请大家
familiar.
留意一
But
下，是这
today,
句
what I
为什么
want
叫
you
异
to
熟音？
pay
为
attention
什
is
么不叫
this
业
phrase.
音和
Why
业
do
力
we
音？
call it
它特别
maturing
强调
cause, or
相
why
异
do
而
we
熟，
don't we
就是
call it
种
karma?
种子
Because it
以及这种子它
emphasizes
长熟
on
的时间、地点、时间
maturation.
都不是一模一样的。
The
也
seed
是反复
planted
提醒我
and
们，
the
不要只
if
在
the effects,
刚
they
种
don't
下
have
种
the
子
same
同一
place
个
and
时间、
time.
同一个地
So
点、同一个时间
that's
的结
why
果。
when we talk about
种子
planting a
的
seed, you won't
体性
get the
有
same
相异，
results from the same person at the same place. So the seed and the cause and effect, they are not same. They are not the same. So when you do volunteer work at some place, you may not get a result at the same place, at least not at the same time, right? If you put in some effort in a relationship, you may not get a reward immediately. So you have to know the result happens in a different time. Today, you listen to a class, you won't become a wise person tomorrow. It will mature if you give it enough time. So this is very interesting for us to think. And for the IR context, what is the maturing cost for innovation, which is also the most important cost, the most basic cost? Someone answer in chat room, which is some DCI teaching, that is to feel happy or celebrate other people's innovation. And there's a stronger one. For you to achieve breakthrough and for you even to see future ideas, you can look into the future and see ideas that for other people that have not happened. For you, you can see it in advance. So that's what we want to achieve, innovation with breakthrough. And that is also what we talked about in October last year in Diamond Mountain on the IR course. One is curiosity, the other one is, these two attitudes, one is curiosity, the other is give back, especially giving back to future generations. Like when we are so fortunate now that we can do something for future generations, for example, like 100 years after, this special, this unique way of giving back is that you are building a connection with the future. Because in your mind, you are thinking about 100 years later or 200 years later, what you can do to help those people. It's like you are making a call to them. And from the perspective of karma, you have planted the seed. When you plant the seed of helping future generation, of course, one of your results is you can see the future in advance.
OK， 这就是最后的，正好讲到这，就是接下来我的广告时间。我最后还有差不多10分钟。
We have some time. I have 10 minutes to do some advertising. After 10 minutes, we will have PHP news. And now I would like to do some advertising and share with you some progress of our nonprofit projects at Dunhuang West, which is also a good opportunity for you to make a phone call to future people, which is a cool thing. Like now, when Elon Musk's rocket has not landed, China has already landed on the moon. So even though now the East and the West have not been able to call aliens, but we have a way to make a call or communicate with the future. So give me 7 or 8 minutes to do a small advertising. Thank you for your participation and thank you, Nick, for your support.
Share 一个 PPT 啊。OK， 看得到吗？看得到，好，在将近几个星期前
，A few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
OK， 那我看看怎么能变全屏。这样好了，大一点。在2、3个星期前，我们在敦煌发布了
2 or 3 weeks ago, we launched the plan for our Dunhuang West projects in Dunhuang. There are a few things that we have to do. and I want to share them with you. Some non-profit projects. The first is that we have to do a new catalog for the Dunhuang Chinese Tibetan English catalog. This is the library cave and the works found in the library cave. There are 60,000 scrolls or 60,000 volumes discovered, which is the biggest collection in modern history. And this discovery, in some way, is also a result of an intentional cooperation between the East and West. And we all know that to make use of this classics is not easy. We have to do a lot of work and a lot of processes to bring them to people's daily life. And the first step is to, even before inputting them, even before inputting is to do a catalog. We have, in the past 100 years, there have been a lot of people editing the catalog for Dunhuang. Let me show you some example. This is one of the catalogs. You can see here, they mention about some classics, and here also some other non-classics work. This one is a position, a person who organizes parties, and a lot of political information. And here there's another Buddhist sutra. So you can see from this kind of catalog, all types of contents are put here. Two memoranda on shoes. So you can see it's like all kinds of content together. Account notes for arrows and armor, which is about weapons and equipment. And here is a controller of military stores. And here is something on law. And there is a yoga commentary or Abhidharma Vipashika commentary. It's a very huge work. So can we say there's no catalog? There is, but is it easy to use? It's very difficult because you have to know this number to use it. And later, in later times, someone put in more effort to do a more detailed catalog. This is a series of catalog named Dunhuang Treasure. The wordings here are very small, but there are a lot of different types of sutra. You can see that the sutras are categorized here together. So it seems to be quite good. But actually, you see where there are blue hearts are the other types of content mixed here. For example, this one may be a Taoist text. And when you listen, when you see this name, you know that it's not a Buddhist sutra. And how about this one? It may be about calculations or mathematics. And this one is about a novel about the ancient Silk Road. So you can see there are novels here as well. And here, this is a poem written through the contents of Buddhist scriptures. So you can see there are lots of scriptures here. And for where you see a blue heart, it is different types of content mixed here. So it has not put all the works into categories. And now recently we have a new plan. This list is in the ALL catalog of the past 50 years, which is strictly organized according to the categories. So you see Hangul, and scriptures, and in scriptures, Tibetan scriptures, there are lots of Tibetan texts. There are lots of different categories, and for example, here one of the deities that we are most familiar is Vajrayogini. In Vajrayogini, there are also a lot of different practices. Like here, we see retreats. So there are retreats related to Vajrayogini. So this catalog is very user-friendly. It's very easy for you to look for things here. For this catalog, we have not really translated everything into Chinese. And here I want to show you the titles about retreat under Vajrayogini. We have all the English, but not Chinese. So what we have to do is to start editing this catalog and then put the corresponding Dunhuang books into this catalog. This is what we want to do. So in the future, when you want to use a book from Dunhuang, you know where to find. You can look for Abhidharma or Mind Only. So this is a very important achievement of Geshe Michael in the past from his learning experience. It is his masterpiece for us to use easily. And then the other project that we have to do is to start editing a dictionary of 8 languages. And for Dunhuang, there also exist a lot of dictionaries. Let me show you a few of them. So these are some dictionaries edited by some scholars on Dunhuang in the past. They are very good, very nice. But why do we want to edit our version? Because according to Geshe Michael's teaching, we can break up the learning in Dunhuang into 8 types. So there's Abhidharma, Mind Only, Middle Way, Upper Middle Way, Lower Middle Way, Wheel of Life, Lojong. So there are 8 languages. Why do we call it 8 languages? Because in different types of the languages, the same word has different meanings. So this is the next thing that we are going to do. I don't have enough time, so I will stop here. But we will edit this kind of glossary in the style of 2 husbands in the kitchen. So this is something we have started doing. We will put the vocabularies in the style of the 2 husbands in the kitchen. And for building caves, I don't have more time. You can take a look at our website. And the last page is about an invitation for you to support us or become a volunteer. I'm sorry that I have taken 2 minutes of time from Peachtree News. So I will stop here. In the future, I will share with you more information. And if you are interested, you can scan the codes to learn more. Thank you. Bye.
Sorry, Nick, I didn't watch the time carefully.
No problem. And maybe we can even do the rest on Monday or another time.
No problem.
Because it's a very fascinating presentation and project, and I appreciate all that you're doing. Also, I think we can feature something like this on Peachtree, maybe. So
maybe, yeah. In that case, I'm not stealing Juan's time then. He just didn't.
You have to coordinate with Mr. Hasso about that.
Yes, I will. Thank you. Hi, Emily. Why your hair is such longer? What's going on?
It's Stanley. You see it's Stanley and Hasso.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking exactly. Like, you don't need to take time. You see, I don't know in English, you don't take time from Peachtree World News. You just take time in Peachtree World News.
That's
so you can, yeah. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, we'll schedule sometime. Yeah.
By the way, a lot of people were texting me like, why Stanley has a happy birthday balloon? And we were all like, maybe it's his birthday. But what's the story?
Xiaoping. It's Xiaoping 2 days ago. 3 days.
Oh,
3 days ago.
we have to celebrate on Monday.
Yeah. And she's
Okay.
doing some big job at her birthday. You can interview her later.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. I'm going to give everyone the context of what's happening. As you can see, I'm in a wooden cabin. This wooden, yeah, those are the news. The wooden cabin. I am in the small town of Bowie in Rimrock, Arizona, because Diamond Mountain Retreat Center is hosting the Five Houses grand opening event. I would like to start sharing some pictures with you. So anyways, people in Diamond Mountain right now are on a small island days where, you know, we get the opportunity to go a little deeper and inside, which I personally find it super healthy. I love it. Sometimes to be quiet and alone, and some other times I also like being social and spending time with people. But to me, this balance is very healthy, I will call it, and also enjoyable. Just giving you that context, people will finish their silent retreat tomorrow morning. And yeah, their retreat basically finishes, the program finishes tomorrow. But let me tell you right now also something else. If you are not doing this silent retreat, tomorrow, Geshe Michael is going to have a special talk conference aimed to specifically Ukrainian audience. It's an event that you can register. It's free registration. I just got to hear about it just super recently. I think it was last night or something like that. Then I tried to gather the information. Our dear friend Victoria and Anna as well, they shared this, I don't know, poster or information. So I'm going to show you really quick how it works, because it was a little difficult for me because I don't speak Ukrainian. Everything is in Ukrainian, but the class itself is going to be in English. So I'm just going to, you follow the QR code. It's going to take you to a website. I was hoping to share really quick yeah, but I need to find the website I want to show you so you can register for it. Let me see. Okay, here it is. It's gonna take you. Are you seeing? I hope are you looking at the website? I hope so. You go here, and then you just type your phone number, whatever, your email, and they send you a Telegram group. And I hope they will give us the information there soon. But it's for free. You just register and Geshe Michael. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Arizona time. If you have Ukrainian friends, you can ask them to help you if you get a little stuck on it. Okay, so that's tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna be going on kind of order of things happening. Will Tech Table help me again sharing the screen, please? Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. So yeah, that's tomorrow. And next event we have after, it's gonna be, next picture, please. Yes, on the beginning of May, the Gbox program is having their second presentation or program this year. This time it's gonna be Dr. Wordsmith and Dr. Paulina Franco. It's gonna be every Saturday just before these classes. So the idea is like people that are interested just tune to their session class and then move on to the whatever translation class. This program is gonna be based on words text, the the golden key, right? Yeah, so it's a text on mind only, but it's gonna be a very practical emphasis or a practical, I forgot the word, but it's like a practical way to use it in your daily life. The end of the most subtle pain based on mind-only ideas. Next picture, please. Yes, and this event also I got to hear just very recently. Geshe Michael and John Foley are going to be going to Vietnam in July, and they're going to be teaching live from a resort over there on July 11th to the 13th. You can also register on the QR code. I was talking with one of the main organizers, Miss Jumi, and yeah, she told me everything sounds very, very excited. It's going to be live. They both going to be there July 11th to the 13th, and you can start registering now following the QR code. As you can see, it's part of a DCI Global Productions. After that, after July in Vietnam, we're going to keep going with programs of the 5 houses, and this time is going to be in Mexico City. The next one is in Mexico City. But what I wanted to mention as well is that if you, for whatever reason, cannot come to Mexico in this case, or you cannot travel to the American continent or whatever it is, there is like a simultaneous production happening in Asia, organized by Jasmine Zhao mostly. And people are also gathering together to kind of have a simultaneous retreat in person. This time they just had one in Malaysia, and a few special guests or teachers were invited to also give talks while other activities were happening here at Diamond Mountain. I think Hector was there and Supriya was there. So yeah, you can read more information in case traveling to United States or traveling to Mexico. It's difficult for you, but you still want to get together and spend the retreat time with a group of friends, people. You can also attend some events happening in Asia at the same time, simultaneous. Okay, next picture, please. And, oh, wait, I think we missed something, but anyways, we'll do it later. Also, I just hear from Yuki, one of the organizers of the yoga organization called Prema. They do wonderful retreats in Japan. They're gonna help Team Lowenhub to produce an event based on the 5 houses programs to happen in Japan. This time it's not in Kyoto, but in a place very close to Kyoto. It's called Tokushima in Japan, and it's gonna be at the end of June 28th, until the beginning of July 3rd. It's going to be based on this idea on how to develop well, I don't know. I'm going to talk to them lately, but you know it's happening. I'll tell you more information later before I say something that I'm not actually sure. I'll better wait this time. Sometimes I do things I'm not totally sure. But anyways, I wanted to show you at the beginning of this presentation a very cool video. My friend Osiris from Mexico, he does a lot of work for ALL. And as you know, ALL is basically the organization that Geshe Michael founded that help us to get all this material that later becomes programs, retreats, books, translation classes, and everything. Geshe many times calls it the snow at the top of the mountain. And they did a beautiful video just kind of to summarize what's the vision in general, and also a little bit of the plan, let's call it that way, for 2025. So I'll show you the video, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
Incredible manuscripts on the order of Dante or Shakespeare or Plato. Unbelievable, beautiful, fantastic works of knowledge. Our goal here is to go around the world, find existing copies and try to preserve them and input them on computers so that everyone can have them and distributed free of charge throughout the world. I think by preserving the documents, we also help preserve culture. The books are spreading all over the world and the ideas are spreading. It's becoming an unbroken chain of knowledge or instruction that's been passed on for the last 2,500 years.
Fortunately, we are all in this together, because if we don't act now, these treasures could be lost forever. An immense corpus of knowledge, fragile, irreplaceable, is disappearing with time. We live in an ever-changing world full of challenges, yet we thrive. And each day we safeguard these books, not just to preserve them, but to bring their wisdom to life. The urgency is real, but what is truly at stake? This knowledge is not just ink on paper. It is the root of our civilization, the foundation of our values, the source of our deepest ideas. These texts have shaped minds, guided seekers, and sparked humanity's brightest moments of consciousness. To lose them would be to lose something far greater than words. It would be to cut ourselves from the roots that sustain our spirit. The Asian Legacy Library exists to ensure access to this knowledge so that future generations can learn, grow, and transform. Together, we can create a more peaceful and awakened world. Join us.
So thank you, ALL, for all you do. It was wonderful. Teacher John Brady and teacher Connie, they were in Diamond Mountain. They had to go back to Rimrock, but they're going to come back soon. Just sending them regards and thank you for all your work. And just finally, two things. To a little celebration that now Diamond Cutter Classics is actually offering the whole content of these classes and their website in Russian and also Indonesian. They finish with, you can see my screen is like the different segments of their website. Now the Russian language is totally available. You can see also the Indonesian, and next they're gonna be working on Romanian. So I wanna thanks and congratulate the whole Diamond Cutter Classics team, and especially also Natasha Loginova, because she has been working a lot with this project of having the website in perfect. So thank you so much. And just to let you know, next event on the 5 houses, tomorrow we finish with Diamond Mountain, and next is Mexico from the 18th to the 21st. We'll talk about it more later, but you can start making your plans. Usually Mexico is an easy place to come. So if for whatever reason, United States is difficult for you, Mexico should be easier. Okay, see you next time. Hope you enjoy. Best wishes, and see you on Monday.